Hi everyone, welcome to another video on iANT, the official YouTube channel for iANT Education. My name is still Julian, and I'm one of the instructors and academic mentors here at the iANT Korea office. And I'm back for another educational video for high schoolers and the parents of high schoolers who are looking to improve their chances of getting into their dream school. But today, we're going to be getting a little more specific and talking about something that's become a little bit of a hot topic over the past few years, which is business schools. And in particular, what extracurriculars can you, as high schoolers, do to improve your chances of getting into one? As more and more high schoolers are being exposed to finance, investment banking, and business in general at a younger age, there are more and more students wanting to go to business school for undergrad than ever before. But it should go without saying that this whole process is becoming more and more competitive as more students are applying. So you're going to need to do something extra to really stand out. If that sounds like you and you want some advice on exactly how to do that, stay tuned. But what gives me the credibility to talk about this? I went to the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton Business School, which is the #1 undergraduate business school in the nation. And so these are some common factors from my and my friends' applications that I've personally witnessed that helped me and the rest of my friends into the school. All right, let's jump into it. In today's video, I'll be primarily going over 3 specific extracurriculars, but I'll also mention a few more at the end that are helpful, just not quite as much. So what exactly are colleges looking for with your extracurricular experiences? Basically, admissions want to see that you have a life outside of the classroom and that you're able to make an impact with what you know and what you've learned. For business schools in particular, they want to see that you have the soft and hard skills outside of the classroom that are necessary to make change. That theme of making an impact is going to be consistent throughout all of the extracurriculars that I talk about, so keep that in the back of your mind. That being said, the first extracurricular option, leadership, leadership, leadership. This is probably an almost overstated part of college applications that has been really hammered to the ground, but for good reason, because it's so important. Leadership is a skill that every student needs, or at least every college wants to see out of students, even if they're not really interested in going into business or really envision themselves being a leader sometime in the future. But for business schools in particular, this is practically a necessity. They want to see that you're able to work well in a team, that you can effectively manage human relationships, and that you have the drive, the initiative, to lead a group towards a specific goal and achieve it. This is because most assignments and projects in business school, at least at the undergraduate level, are going to be in groups. They're trying to replicate how work is done in the real world or in the industry. Okay, for instance, when I was in high school, I was the editor-in-chief of our school newspaper, which is in no way related to business, right? However, it was an incredible leadership opportunity where I had to manage deadlines for different sections of the paper. I had to communicate effectively and clearly with the subordinates below me, as well as with the school administration above me. And I had to communicate with outside suppliers like the printing company that would deliver us our papers every week. So at the end, it didn't matter that this leadership experience wasn't business related. At the end of the day, I was still practicing skills that business school admissions want to see from their students, which is effective communication, negotiation, and time management. And you don't necessarily have to be the founder or president of some huge national club or whatever. As long as you can communicate the impact that you've had through your leadership in your essays. Okay, so before going into the second point, I really want to make something obnoxiously clear. So many students get the wrong idea about business schools. They're not selecting applicants with the most prior knowledge about business or the applicants who have attended the most investment competitions or business competitions. That's not what they're looking for. Because let's be honest, like whatever you produce at a high school level investment or business competition is probably going to be hot garbage anyways. So it doesn't matter how many of these experiences you have. After all, you're trying to go to business school to learn more about business and the proper way, not just by doing it yourself in some high school competition. Rather, admissions are looking for the applicants who can take the resources that they're given, take the knowledge that they've accrued, and make the most impact. And to put it bluntly, the applicants, the students that these business schools are selecting are, yes, students, but they're also investments. They want to invest in students who are able to take full advantage of the resources that they're provided at the school, who are going to go into the industry as an alum representing that school and make a significant impact in whatever area their career is. Because ultimately, it's those students, it's those alums who can make something out of nothing, who are going to be the ones donating enormous sums of money to the school and really just representing it in the media and giving it publicity to drive the number of applicants in the future. Now, what's a way, beside leadership, for students to show admissions that they're able to make a large-scale impact sometime in the future? Well, by making a local impact on a smaller scale in the present, aka community service. If you haven't checked out our previous video, I highly recommend you to do so since I go into more detail about specifically what type of volunteering or community service you should be doing. So this is not your regular old neighborhood trash pickup or beach cleanup. Ideally, what you're doing will take the limited knowledge and experience that you have as a high schooler and make impact in your local community through an organization that's relevant to what you want to study or what you want to pursue. This is to demonstrate essentially that even with such limited resources as a high schooler, you are still able to make change in people's lives, giving confidence in admissions that you can do the same, but on a larger scale once you're given the proper resources, education, and experience. And notice how I'm stressing the local aspect of this community service. This is because many students put in their application and write about some sort of mission trip or something that they went to South America for to help the people out there. And don't get it twisted, that's a very admirable way to spend your time, right? By helping people out who need the help. But what impact are you really making in a 2-week to 1 month span in some completely foreign country? And how is that relevant to what you want to study? First of all, there are people who need help, who could use your help in your local community or in your state. That's much more direct, and you're able to continue that connection with that community as opposed to, going somewhere very far. All right, finally, let's take a look back at what business school admissions are really looking for in students. Someone who can take calculated risks, someone who is not afraid of venturing into new territory, and someone who can actually act upon an idea or goal that they have to make it become a reality. So, what's the third extracurricular that you can do to impress business schools? Business competitions. Okay, I know I just discredited business competitions earlier in this video, but that was in the context of trying to stack these competitions up on your application to impress admissions with how much you know about business as a replacement for a more meaningful academic and extracurricular experience. That's because business competitions are just different in nature. While your typical math competition like the AMC 10 or AMC 12, or say your regional science Olympiad competition, while they're incredibly beneficial to add on to your application, the same can't be said about business competitions. In those other competitions, it's quite simple. Students will take a test, answer questions, and receive a score that proves how good they are at math or some subject of science. But in business competitions, it's not as objective. There's no point system to determine what's right and wrong. So oftentimes it's very subjective, and it doesn't quite prove your knowledge or experience quite like the other competitions do. That being said, in addition to the positive benefits that I mentioned before, these competitions are the best way to 1, network, and 2, improve your people skills. Not only are those desirable in the eyes of college admissions, they're 2 of the most important skills that you can learn for your adult career. Especially at business school, simply knowing the right people and simply being able to get your foot in the door through the connections that you've made through your network and through your people skills, your communication skills, is absolutely the biggest indicator of success. It's not about how much you know, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So for business students, these 3 extracurriculars are practically a must. The chances look pretty slim if you don't have just one of these. They each demonstrate distinct qualities of a student that business school admissions are really looking for. 2 other extracurriculars that you can do to bolster your application for business schools is by founding something like a club, an organization, a magazine. It doesn't even have to be related to business, whatever, as long as you create it, and sports. In business contexts and in business school, there's actually a lot of sports culture and terminology. It really replicates kind of like a similar team dynamic that has been proven to generate success for businesses. So honestly, starting that and learning that culture, learning that team ability from sports in high school is going to set you up for success. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching another educational video from iANT. In summary, the 3 best extracurriculars for you to participate in to get into business school is leadership, community service, and business competitions. And 2 other things that you can do are found a club or organization or magazine, whatever, and participate in sports. Again, I hope you learned at least one valuable thing from this, and keep your eyes peeled for more educational content from iANT.